guys, how are you?
Hi.
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. It is so good to chat with both of you. This is such a big episode. So before we get into it, I want to kind of look back to when you first joined the show. Do you remember your first scenes and who they were with? Sarah, let's start with you.
I remember getting to know the other characters, both while working and also in the green room, as it were, because of course they'd already established quite a lot of intimacy on screen and off, and we came along. So it was actually a lovely welcome, wasn't it, Hugh?
I think wasn't the wedding the first big sequence we did?
That was very much towards the beginning, yes, and that was very enjoyable.
It was a very long sequence, and I remember there's one little shot of us together in the wedding scene. I remember.
Yeah. And what were your first impressions of the cast, of Sam, Caitríona, John, everyone you work with?
Well, it was from the word go an extraordinarily welcoming cast. It's a lovely, lovely cast.
Yes.
And they're great team leaders. Sam and Caitríona, really, really exceptional. Oh, and actually, everybody was lovely, weren't they, Sarah?
Yes, absolutely.
It was a very happy unit.
Yeah. So do you guys, did you read the books before you came onto the show, or did you read the particular books that your characters, like, did you know there was going to be kind of this turn in their arc?
We didn't know a long time before we started that we were going to join, did we, Hugh? So we didn't have months beforehand to get to know our characters or indeed read the book. So in the end, I started reading the book, and then personally I found it there's so much information, and then because I had adrenaline going for the actual job, I thought, oh crikey, I can't. It was kind of too much overload of information. So I thought, no, actually I'll just I'll read the scripts and refer to the books, and that's what I did.
So I have to say, like, do you feel like the Bugs really love the Frasers, though, that they're conflicted a bit? Because Sarah, I have to say, when you catch Claire and Ian digging that grave, that was the first moment I was like, oh, I love Mrs. Bug. And then you're gone.
I know. Well, that's sad, but
we were sort of we felt quite often we were kind of like teasing the viewers in that they were getting, and various fans sent messages saying, when are the Bugs actually going to come into focus? Blah, 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 blah. But we were kind of there in the background, quietly.
In every scene. Yes, I did notice that. So I want to break down the funeral scene. Hugh, sadly, Sarah, I'm sure you're sad that you weren't in that scene. But
she was in her coffin.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We were just saying a little earlier that it was the wettest day you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
It was absolutely monsoon. And we'd had the actual burial in the morning. Okay. And then we shot the scene coming to the burial later on in the day.
How was the singing part? Did Caitríona like singing in that? Was it a challenge?
Caitríona's great. She just goes for it. She doesn't make a fuss. If it says sing, she'll sing. She's thoroughly professional.
And I have to say, I thought it was rather lovely because it had she can sing in tune, she can sing, so you weren't worried for her. And actually the simplicity of it is, I think, incredibly touching. I have to say, obviously lying in my coffin, I didn't, watching it just now on the screener, I thought that scene worked beautifully.
Yeah, I think so too. It's such a difficult song to sing too, especially a cappella. So what is one of your favorite parts about working with Caitríona and Sam? And we'll talk about John later.
Oh, I think the fact that the thing is we're Scottish. And Caitríona's Irish, and Scottish and Irish is in many ways interchangeable. So there's a sense in Scotland, I think, Hugh, you can support me here, I think. There's a sense in Scotland of people working together and people acknowledging that they're workers in the best possible way. And so and that goes for the whole team. So there's a kind of sense of classlessness if that's a word.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me? There's a sense that we get on, we all get on with the job, and of course we should, but you know, there is absolutely a sense in Scotland of we're all in it together and getting on with the job. So,
and no nonsense.
And exactly, and no nonsense. And the weather is going to be crap, of course. I don't know if I want to say that word, but the weather's going to be terrible because it's Scotland. You know, if it were Ireland, it would be the same. We're used to that. You know, this is what we expect. It's not, and we are going to get cold and we are going to get wet. And, but actually, you keep going in this business with a great sense of humor. You really have to be able to laugh. And we do, don't we? I mean, we are able to flip from the most dramatic moment to giggling like hysterical school kids.
Were you laughing in the funeral scene, like in between takes?
No, absolutely not. No, that's not a moment. No, that was absolutely, and it was.
I think that was partly to do with the weather. We were actually anxious. We weren't going to get the scene in the can.
Gotcha. So one thing I wanted to ask is, like, you know, looking back on your time on the show, Sarah, what is one of your favorite scenes that you've done on the show? It could be from season 6, anything. I personally liked in season 6 when Jamie comes home and he throws a coat at you because he's so anxious to see Claire, and it's like peak comedy. Your reaction to that is so funny. And then when they flash to you hearing what's going on upstairs, I just thought that was like brilliant. So what was your favorite scene?
Well, of course, that's very difficult because in this moment, I can't think of one that's a favorite. To be honest, I loved all the scenes for different reasons. And, you know, I mean, I loved, because of my early passion for Westerns, you know, although, you know, I would have loved to have been on a horse, but I didn't. But I love the fact that other people were. A scene in a cart. I loved that, horse and cart. You know, that to me was absolutely thrilling. And then we've had one or two really lovely moments together as in our relationship. And yes, the wedding scene, a little bit of romance there, a little bit of kind of snapping at each other. We've actually in little moments covered quite a range of our relationship, and everyone else has been delightful to work with. So really, it has been a pleasure.
Do you remember Sarah, when you were preparing? I can't remember what the scene was, getting all the food on the table, and I was having to take plates in it, and you were kind of treating me like I was the man that didn't know how to bring the plates into the table.
Yes.
Kind of, it was kind of like, Archer's got to go and help me, but he's not going to be very good at doing it.
Yes, and then Caitlin and I had a little bit of kind of jostling for you know, arranging the table. That little bit of jostling as, you know, who's in charge here. Yeah, no, that was nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Fun to
I love that. So let's talk about Mrs. Bug's death scene. Sarah, what was it like shooting that with John and Sam? Did it take a lot of takes? Did you guys get it done pretty quickly?
It was done pretty quickly. Yeah. It's the kind of thing where, you know, you don't want to have to do lots of takes because there's blood. It's death scenes are very technical, and for a small bit of it, I had a stunt double, so that a fall could be done simply and without any danger to me being a relatively extremely old person. So. But actually, when it came to lying down and dying, then I guess it wasn't that difficult. We rehearsed it, we did it. It was done quickly.
And Sarah, what are you going to miss most about being on this show?
It's a wonderful feeling to be part of a show, to be part of something that, you know, audiences enjoy and you enjoy with the other actors. It's a very special feeling where everything, and you're getting paid, you know, let's not forget, you know, we are actually getting paid for doing something that we love, that uses pretty much all of you, really. Yeah. So it's in that sense, it's a gift of a profession, wouldn't you say, Hugh?
Yes, and I mean, this is a gift of a job. It's a wonderful job to have because it is so well organized and people are so kind and generous. And you're made to feel important, which of course is very good for your ego. Yeah. No, it's been a lovely, lovely job.
So, you know, just to wrap, like, what would you say you each have learned from working with Sam?
I'd worked with Sam before.
Oh, okay.
In the theatre. I did a play with him when he was very, very young. And when he played quite a different character. He was a gay guy having a relationship with another gay guy in a play about the famous actor John Gielgud.
Oh, okay, okay.
And he was a delight then. I mean, he was a very nice, eager young boy, really. Well, he was not quite a boy, but it was very early on in his career. So I'd known him for a long time. So it was very nice to be reunited with him with his new status, which he does not abuse.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
No, he doesn't at all. They're very, both he and Kat are just well, who they are, and very ordinary and straightforward and lovely, aren't they, Sarah?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
There's, as we say, no sides to them.
That's right.
That is wonderful in the workplace, you know.
Yeah.
Quietly getting on with the job with a sense of humor, and you know that if you need help in any way, that they will listen, and that's really paramount in a show like this, I think. Where,
Sarah, can you think of something specific that you learned from working with Caitríona?
Oh, well, Caitríona is a very intelligent actress, and again, I think that what I'm particularly impressed by is her calmness. That she carries that series beautifully on screen and is a calm presence off screen, and really carries it beautifully. So yes, calm is very important. And as actors, of course, we are in the business of bringing our childhood with us, bringing our emotions close to the surface at the same time. Calm is very important. And I think she does that quite especially well. Yeah, very impressive.
So Sarah, we're going to miss you on the show. But, you know, I have to ask, will Arch be back? Is he going to chase Ian and Jamie and Claire for all time?
Now, what do you think?
I'm not going to say, but I think we all know.
Yeah. No, he's hell bent on vengeance.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty clear at the funeral. I mean, that is an intense scene with John.
He might have to pay a price.
I know. He's like threatening his dog. I mean, it's serious.
I know.
All right, Sarah, terrific work on the show, and I will see one of you probably again later in the season, I'm sure. What a great run. What a great run.
Thank you very, very much.